Hey everybody, this is Frank Scappaticci and Carlos San Diego of Grayline Investments, and today we're going to play a game actually today. We're not going to have a rigid agenda. We're going to play true or false. And I'm going to start out by pinging Carlo with some true or false questions, and then, he might have some stuff for me at the end, but it's going to be mostly related around real estate and wholesaling today in particular. So hopefully we have some fun. How you feeling, Carlo?
I'm feeling good, man. Always, I've hated Truth or Dare as a game as a kid. I would always end up sharing things that I probably shouldn't have. But this can be fun.
No, it's true or false.
Yeah, I know it's true or false, but
I'm not going to dare you to do any.
Yeah. Okay, I'm overthinking it. But so you want me to answer true or false, or you want me to justify my answers also?
I will. Yeah, let's justify your answer. So you answer true or false, and then you give
why?
A paragraph response. And if it's a juicy response, we'll dive in.
Cool.
Do it that way.
Love juice.
Okay. And my inspiration for true or false today, just so people who are watching are aware, is an article Bigger Pockets wrote, or someone in Bigger Pockets wrote earlier in the year, a couple months ago. And the opinion was, don't trust wholesalers. Here's why. So that's kind of where I'm basing my questions off of. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to go with the high level question.
Sure.
Wholesalers are untrustworthy. True or false?
I guess I gotta say true, but I'm mostly saying true because that's the perception. I think it's unfair to say all wholesalers are terrible or you can't trust them. Just like anything, you got to do your due diligence on who you're working with. So to answer the question, I would say true. There is this perception that they're untrustworthy and they're not great to work with. But on the flip side of that, you can trust me. I'm a wholesaler, and I like to think that we operate at Grayline with high character. I like to be very transparent. So I guess the answer is yes, but don't let that just affect your total decision making when it comes to wholesalers, because it's just an unfair statement. That's just saying the Washington Wizards suck at basketball. I mean, they probably do, but Bradley Beal is pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
So to my point, if you're gonna work with a wholesaler, ask them questions, get to know them, know about their process, ask about other deals they've done. If you can talk to other investors that they've maybe worked with, try to find as much information as you can, because there's definitely really good wholesalers out there, but there's a lot of bad ones that give the rest of the wholesalers a bad name. And I think part of that is wholesaling is usually an easy way to get into real estate. People who want to get into real estate, wholesaling kind of seems to be like that first doorway that they enter in. So with that being said, it's like a huge funnel. You're going to get all these people who they're like, oh, I want to get into real estate. Oh, I heard wholesaling is a good way. You don't have to have a lot of capital. I could just learn about it watch a few YouTube videos and feel like I know how to do wholesaling. So in that sense, those people may not be the best ones to work with.
Well, I agree with all that. I am going to agree, actually. I think it's true. I think wholesalers, even though I think we're upstanding citizens, are in general untrustworthy. I think a couple reasons. One, I think whenever you're in a business where there's this finite amount of profit and people have to share it, it's conducive to unsavory behavior. And wholesaling is almost like the most pure form of that, right? So any lack of character in that type of environment is going to become obvious over time. And
exactly. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. Those types of wholesalers, the untrustworthy ones, they're going to look for different areas where they can, fudge with the price, so it's more so in their favor. Just find different areas where they could kind of be dishonest with the seller to try to make a couple extra bucks. I mean, we see things like that happen a lot. So I understand why the perception is what it is for wholesalers, but again, always be cautious when working with them. But at the same time, we like to think we're very trustworthy and transparent, and we wholesale.
Yeah, for sure. Like ethics, I think that's a core advantage or a core competency for us is I think we're high character in a low character environment, or our competitors. I'll tell a story. So we were selling a deal. You remember this one in San Antonio, Remuda, where the seller was didn't tell both wholesalers, but they were under contract with two wholesalers at the same time, and we actually had the senior contract, so we actually had the valid one, but it came to the point where it made sense for us to JV with the other wholesaler. So we could just both make some money. Seller gets to sell their house and the buyer, but we wanted to keep our buyer because we had already dispoed it, right?
Right.
We get to but I showed my cards to the other guy. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm like, this is generally where our margins are at. I'm like, I can get you in. Like, I can let you in a little bit on our margins, but you just got to work with me a little bit.
Yeah.
And this other wholesaler just lied and schemed and eventually what it came to is he just tried to scheme this whole operation, either push us out or cut into our margins so much that he took 90%. And I'm like, what are you doing? And after experiencing that, I'm like, wholesalers are scummy, man. That was so scummy.
So shysty.
So for no reason, like we both were actually going to get paid pretty decent.
And that's what I mean. Like if they can find an opportunity to kind of like squeeze somebody out or, squeeze themselves some extra dollars. Like we've seen them, like this is a perfect example. We've seen them do it. So we understand why that is the perception.
Yeah. But that's people who chase only the margins to me, and not the volume. Like they eventually fizzle out. Like I look at our wholesaling operation as McDonald's, like 99 million cheeseburgers served. Like we just get those cheeseburgers out the door, Anyway, so I'm babbling, bro. Sorry. Okay. This one, you have acquisitions and disposition experience. Okay. So this one's more for you.
Mm-hmm.
Buyers are more difficult to deal with than sellers. True or false?
In my experience, and I will say I have more experience on the acquisitions than I do on the dispositions. Wait, so what was the question exactly? Just
buyers are more difficult to deal with or manage than sellers.
Yeah, I mean, true. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it, but because like on dispositions, it's different. Like you're cultivating relationships, you're building relationships. You almost try to have relationships with every investor that you work with. So you want to try to accommodate and, do what you can as long as it makes sense within your business. And, other investors, or other buyers, they have their own demands and their own standards that they're looking for. And, there's this like dance where you're kind of trying to meet in the middle so everybody's happy. So in that sense, it can be more difficult just talking to buyers. But at the same time, I think it's like more gratifying, and it's not always difficult. Like you meet a lot of buyers in certain markets who are awesome, and they like understand the way you work, and as you guys start kind of working together, you kind of build this chemistry, and you guys know how things are, and that makes it much easier. Where sellers, on the acquisition side, when you're talking to sellers, a lot of times, with most people, you're only talking to them once. Like if you're asking them, hey, will you sell me your house? They're like, no. And you're like, okay, never talk to that person again. So it's not as much like on your mind. You kind of, you make a call, then you just move on. Where like dispositions, you're constantly thinking about, all the people in your network. And it's like,
yeah, it's more asynchronous.
In a while. Like there's just a lot more thought that goes into kind of maintaining those relationships. Because, what I'm learning is like a good dispositions manager is someone who has, good relationships with all his investors, and like the investors understand our process, we understand their process, and it just makes it that much easier to work together, when we know what we're looking for each other.
Yeah. I think I think that's a tough one because buyers are more likely to try to trip you up. I feel like because a lot of experienced cash buyers will try to get the wholesaler in the position where they have exclusive rights to the walkthrough, and we've had people do it to us where they lowball us because they gain leverage, right? Which is like a tough lesson because you have to balance like strengthening relationships with what's best for your business, you know? And like it's very rare that you have one person that's like always the right buyer. Like, not a lot of wholesalers who scale can say that. Some people can, but we can't say that.
Yeah,
But
I totally agree with what you say, like 100%. Like I said, I have more experience on the acquisition side than the disposition side, so I haven't seen it as much as you have. Like, fortunately for me, most of the investors or the people that I've been working with and talking to have, for the most part, been legit or straight up. There are some people that are blowing smoke, but yeah, no, it's like you said, I agree.
but sellers, so like sellers are more likely to do crazy off the wall stuff. So like like our contractor Chris and Colleen, like one time he showed up to a house, and I think it was owner occupied, and he called. And he's like, "Dude, I can't go in." He goes, "These people are gonna kill me." He's like, "Hey," I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "These sellers are out of their mind, dude." He's like, "They're actually like, I think they're probably have guns in there. Like, I'm not going in." I'm like, "Okay,
yeah,
buyer probably." Most of them won't do that. So so like sometimes I think buyers are consistently, you're always negotiating, so that's difficult.
yeah.
But sellers can give you some wild situations like that you're not going to be able to predict. So
right. And that's why I said it really depends on how you look at it, because sellers can totally be way more difficult to work with than buyers.
Yeah, you see crazy stuff.
Yeah, but the way I think of it is, like, when I'm done talking to a seller, unless we're negotiating and going to need additional calls, most sellers that I talk to, it's like one conversation and that's it. Said it and I forget about them. But with buyers, like, even after the conversation's over, like, you still have a relationship. I'm still thinking about them. So
yeah, and you have to manage the project, right? You got to close, title and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So okay, back on track to true and false. This is acquisition. Well, I guess disposition too. Marketing is more important than sales. Sales skills, I should say.
True. Because I mean, marketing is how you're going to grow your business, how people are going to find you. I mean, marketing is like really where the rubber meets the road. And I know people probably think the negotiations and the sales is where it is, but I don't know, for us, like, and I'm more so talking about us, when we picked up our marketing, we saw our business kind of really start to pick up. When more people started to become aware of us, then that's when, we were able to start growing and scaling. And that's 100% to all the different marketing strategies we were doing, outbound marketing, inbound marketing, social media, everything, just trying to get us in front of other people, our product in front of more eyes. So what was say the question again? The true false?
Marketing is more important than sales.
So, and the thing with sales, and I've touched on this before, is like sales skills maybe aren't as important as they've been in the past. Like, I think, being a good person, being honest, like relationship-based sales, like there's guys that don't have great like negotiation, that alpha personality sales skills, but they're very personable. They want to help you solve your problem. So a lot of people, they'll tend to work with those people that may not consider themselves salesmen. So like even myself, like I've been a professional salesman for 5 or 6 years, but I don't like to think of myself as a salesman. Like I try not to think that I'm using sales skills when I'm negotiating. I mean, I'm sure I am, but for the most part, I like to think that I'm just being myself, listening to them and trying to solve their problem.
Yeah.
So I think a lot more people, like, as they have more sales skills than they think. They just need to, like I said, like, be honest, find out what their real problem is and try to work towards ways of solving their problem. If you do that, you'll be fine with sales. But marketing is like a whole other beast. So it's a lot of words to say. I definitely think marketing is actually more important than sales is.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, like, to scale, you just need your funnel to have a lot of numbers in it, a lot of opportunities, or else you can't sustain. So like that's the most simple argument. But piggybacking off of what you said, I agree also, because a lot of people are nervous about doing sales, which is a natural tendency, right? Like the act of selling something is scary.
Yeah.
But the way you overcome it is through repetitions. And the only way you get the repetitions is via marketing, right? Like, if you're good at sales, you shouldn't be marketing. If you're not good at sales, marketing might be the solution. Like, right. Those reps. So,
and a lot of times marketing might bring people who are looking for your service. So if they're looking for your service exactly, you don't need to sell them. You know what I mean? It's like the marketing is doing the sales work at that, at that point. So that's another way I like to look at it.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to do our plug, which I still struggle with doing plugs. I'm not good at it, but I got to do it running a business. So everybody, if you're enjoying this video, please like, share, subscribe. Helps the algorithms, helps Facebook and all the other social media sites push out our content. So I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Okay, back on track. A fun one. PS5 is going to dominate Microsoft and the Xbox in this new iteration that just came out.
Man, you got some tough ones, Frank.
Yeah, this one's tough, but this
one is tough.
Actually, I don't want to lead you either way.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll say I'm an Xbox guy. I usually would buy an Xbox, but like when it comes to the console wars, I'm gonna say PlayStation. I just feel like, generally speaking, like the PS5 is regarded as a little better than the Xbox. Now, if you look at the specifications, and I don't want to get all nerdy into the weeds, but the Xbox is actually more powerful in terms of its performance. But for some reason, like the PS5 just seems like it's in higher demand. Like one thing I've noticed, if you look on like Instagram, you see these videos of parents getting their kids like a gift and they open it and they just start crying. It's all from this year. It was always a PS5 that I saw, and it wasn't always kids. A lot of times it was actually adults, but it was always a PS5. It was rarely an Xbox Series X. So even though I'm an Xbox, I'm aware enough to admit that PlayStation is probably going to be better or perform better than the Xbox in terms of like sales and just like pop culture. What's better?
Yeah, I think it's true as well. Not that I know anything about performance, but I have like a sneaking suspicion, and I was thinking about this, that Sony is meddling with social media to a crazy extent that they're like just winning that battle. Like if you remember when the Xbox came out, there was all these videos coming out of the Xbox overheating, going on fire, and I don't think it wasn't happening that much,
Right, but that was the perception
on all these pages, and I'm like, yo, is Sony like, are they peddling this? I mean, I can't prove this.
Yeah.
Stuff, but it did kind of feel like that.
That's a good point. Maybe someone who has both out there can let us know.
So hold on, I'm going to pause for a second. This is fun. We're flipping a house in Fayetteville, and our agent's calling us. I think we got an offer. Stephanie, you're on Facebook Live right now. Did we get an offer?
Facebook Live, you got an offer, and it's a strong one too.
Okay, what's the offer
right.
at?
You want me to go over the details with you?
I'm not a lot of people are watching, but I am live, so I can only talk for a minute. What did they hit our offer price or our list price?
They did. Purchase price. It's an extremely strong offer, and I would say there's nothing to it that I would be worried about. Full price offer, good amount of due diligence. They want to close quick. They're using the VA loan, and they actually asked for us to get a response to them back by 8 p.m. tonight, but I let her know that we have another person coming back to show it, and they're aware, but they do want a decision by today. So I just want to give you those details because it's a really strong offer. So I just wasn't sure if you would want to accept or go ahead and wait for these people to go back and see it.
Yeah, I think, well, if someone's already in our funnel, let's honor their time. And let's make a decision by the end of the day.
Okay, that's what I would recommend as well, but I just wanted to make sure you were on board.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Stephanie.
Awesome. All right, talk to you later.
Bye. All right, Stephanie Ciabatti, 3 days on the market. Actually, no, 2 days. This is only the second day we've had the home in the market. Sold, bought the home for $125, $195 offer.
Was that the one with the double check on there?
What's up?
Was that the one where you put discount double check on the?
No. Oh, no. That was the Cape Coral listing that I was messing around with, the for sale by owner. Now, Stephanie just did a normal listing. But, hey, man, we got a full price offer. That's the third flip in a row we full priced offer it. So we're definitely pricing things maybe not high enough. But honestly, I'd rather move fast and have everything appraised and do good rehabs and get them sold. But, that was kind of fun. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So that's cool. That's
money. It would have been kind of funny if it was just like terrible news and it was live on this stream.
Yeah, Frank, the house is on fire.
The house is on fire.
Anyway, okay, let's do another true or false.
Yeah.
And then we'll close it up soon. The wholesaling is better than flipping houses. True or false?
I mean, like from my perspective, I'll say true from my perspective. You know, I'm sure a lot of people might disagree, but it's just one of those things where, you know, it depends on like, are you virtual? Are you doing it long distance? Like, are you in that market that you're flipping the house? You know, I learned from you, Frank. If you're not living in that market, you're never going to be the best flipper. You know, in that market, there's going to be local investors with contractors in that area that are going to do a better job. I would say, you know, if we talked about it earlier, but if you're getting into real estate, I mean, you don't need a lot of money or overhead or capital to get into wholesaling and to make money. I mean, you know, the way we try to do it, you know, or a lot of wholesalers, you know, try to make like a 10K fee. I don't think many of them make that much on all of them as much as they say they do. But, you know, even if you're making 6 to 10K on each wholesale, and you just focus on volume and focus on just trying to find more of those deals and finding more leads of people who are willing to sell below market value, you can really make wholesaling work for you very well. Now, your margins are much smaller than flipping. So that's why I say it's very dependent on your own situation. Like if you're living in that market and you can flip a property and make like 60 grand, then obviously that's better than wholesaling it and making 10 grand.
Right.
But I guess so. Yeah. Overall, I would say wholesaling is better than flipping, but I feel like people will disagree.
Yeah, I think. Well, I agree with you. Actually, I'm going to say true too, but my explanation is kind of wonky. I think one, it depends on your personality. If you're not someone that's going to function well in a high volume sales environment, then like flipping makes way more sense because wholesaling, as we all know, like the first 6 months of standing it up, if you're trying to scale it, it can kick your ass.
It's a grind for sure.
It's a grind for sure. So you got to be on like a lot of the day.
Yeah.
But if that's your personality type, I like wholesaling if that fits you, because if you start out flipping, you tend to get really focused on getting really good at the rehab part of the process, right? You're going to rely, over time will start to rely in a lot of cases on someone else for acquisition, right? And then you'll get really good at flipping houses. You'll have the contracting stuff done. You'll have your agents sell the houses. And you get good at like the middle and back part of the process.
Right. Yep.
But if you start out wholesaling, you have no choice but to get really good at the front
end.
Yep. And like I think that's where we started. And now John and I are thinking, well, we're going to flip more houses in the markets we've gotten good at it. We kind of like dabbled our feet in flips, as you can see by we've done. You know, thank God, knock on wood, all of them have worked out this year. Bought 9 houses, all of them are going to be profitable. So we're like, let's turn that lever up, you know, but we also get good margins because we're just getting the deals ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if, you know, we're going to another wholesaler, you know, we're going to lose some margin, right? Like, you know, one of our flips, we didn't make a lot. We would have lost money most likely if we got it from a wholesaler. So I think it's good to having control over price is, to me, the number one advantage. And if you want to focus on the rehab, start a general contracting company, that's your strategy. But this is just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. Do you have any true or falses for me? I ran out. I only recorded like 7 of them, and I think I'm done.
Man, I don't. Shoot. Okay, well, I'll start non-real estate just real quick because I know you're a Jets fan.
Okay.
True or false? The Jets will win 6 games next year.
Justin Fields likely to be the quarterback.
So you actually think they're going to draft Justin Fields?
What's up?
You think they're going to draft Justin Fields?
I mean, I assume Darnold. You know, I love Sam Darnold when he got drafted. I just think we kind of ruined him. Like, we just made the situation so brutal that I'm not really sure what quarterback was going to do well there. But unfortunately, I think he might be broken.
Yeah.
You know, he might not be savable or salvageable. So I think it's likely to get rid of him. I think they draft Justin Fields. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to go number 1, most likely. And I think he's really good. But the Jets, DBs, linebackers, pass rush, still pretty weak. And they'll have a rookie quarterback. To me, that's a sub-6 win team.
Gotcha.
You know?
I feel like a jerk saying this, but I kind of agree.
Yeah. I mean, we suck, man. Dude, like, you don't have to feel bad. I'm a Jets fan. Like, we Jets fans hate the Jets. Like, no one hates the Jets more than Jets fans. Like, we don't even root for our own team. Like, it's kind of, you're a Skins fan. You're the same.
Yeah, no, we get it, man. I get it. It's a love-hate relationship with the Washington football team. But we actually ended the season on a good note, I would say. I was happy with the way that we played Tampa in the playoffs. Heineke he balled out, our quarterback that just came out of nowhere. So yeah, I'm optimistic.
Heineke, he's fat. I mean, he kind of looks like
he had some wheels. I mean, he ran for a few third and longs for like crucial first downs, and he had that one touchdown run.
Dude, if there were Skins and the Bucks lined up to play dodgeball or Shirts and Skins basketball before the game, Heineke would be the last person picked.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like he'd be like number 102. But he was running, and I was like, damn, that dude can run. He's for a scrawny little white guy. Anyway.
So I got one true or false question around real estate. What is better, long distance real estate or doing real estate right in your own town?
I've never tried to dominate New York because it's so hard where I live. I like doing it virtual. I think when you get enough volume virtually, it kind of gives you a natural hedge, meaning like your risk is balanced out across multiple markets. And obviously your options are way, way wider if you're in 10 cities as opposed to 1. But I would say if you're doing a part-time gig and you're in a market that's doing really, really well and you're not trying to spend a crazy amount of hours scaling a business, like I could see the argument for going local,
Yeah.
Like if I lived in Fayetteville and I just did this flip and maybe 3 more flips throughout the year in a market that's appreciating and in a market where if I can't sell the house, I could just rent it and likely not lose any money and just, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think I'm gonna say it's situation dependent. If you live in New York and California, it's true. If you live in Austin, Texas, it might be false. It's really all about where you're at.
Yeah, no, totally agree. It's totally situation dependent. I was just curious to see what you would say.
Yeah.
Because you live in New York, so obviously it's not best for you to invest where you are. But for people who live in different places in Texas, it might completely be better for them.
Yeah. I think once we started crapping on the Jets, a lot of people started tuning in.
I just do that. We can dedicate a whole hour to that also.
Yeah.
But I think that's all the true or false I got for you.
Yeah. I think I have to drop soon too. I got a call. I'm running a little bit late too. But hey guys, I'm going to wrap us up. Thanks for all the people that were able to join in today. Grayline Investments, our goal, improved lives through real estate. You can follow us at graylineinvestments.com or graylineacademy.com, which is the homepage to sign up and learn more about our mastermind, which we host every Wednesday. And we're just trying to help people grow their real estate portfolios, hit their goals, and mentor them. So that's all we got today. Carlos, San Diego, Frank Scapitici, we signing off. Have a good day, everybody.
Thanks, guys.